Real thing.
Okay. 3, 2, 1. Hello, so we're at New York Comic Con 2017, and I just met
Dominic,
from Star Wars, the Star Wars Underworld.
Star Wars Underworld. Yep, StarWarsUnderworld.com.
So, can you tell me a little bit about the history of, how you guys found the Underworld and the website and podcast, and how you make friends over the internet through Star Wars?
Sure. So, Star Wars Underworld was started originally as a Facebook page by my friend Ben. I didn't know Ben at the time. He just started it because he was passionate about Star Wars and he wanted to have an outlet for how to share it. So he created this Facebook page, and he would just share cool pictures and videos and news stories. And he started to bring in a few other people, like our friend Chris Sequel, who would become our co-host on the podcast, and they were doing that. And then they decided they wanted to start a website, and so they built this great website, and they were looking for writers. And I thought, hey, I'd like to do that. So I volunteered and started writing for the site. And then they decided they wanted to do a podcast. So they started up the Star Wars Underworld podcast. I joined the podcast about 6 to 8 months into it. And that was in about early 2012. And since then, we've been rolling with the podcast all the way through, the Disney announcement, the Clone Wars, Star Wars Rebels, Force Awakens, Rogue One, and coming up to The Last Jedi. And yeah, it's just been a really cool way to express our Star Wars passion and what we really love about the franchise, and meet cool people. There's so many people I never would have met. I mean, you're from Thailand. There's no way I would have met you if it wasn't for Star Wars, and that's awesome. I think that's so cool. And like that, I've got friends all over the world now because of our passion for Star Wars and the internet's ability to connect us. I think that's really cool.
It's really cool. The story is I started, becoming passionate about Star Wars in just a year before they announced, just a year before Disney bought it, and they announced that they were doing The Force Awakens. And back then, I was my origin was watching Big Bang Theory and How I Met Your Mother.
Okay.
Obviously, those shows are especially How I Met Your Mother. I was watching it why are other guys like Ted and Marshall?
Yeah.
Why are they why if they mention Star Wars? There was an episode about a girl. If she
Yeah.
doesn't like Star Wars, that's a deal breaker.
That's one of my favorite episodes of that show. I love that one where where he's Ted is making her watch the movie, and he's watching her watch the movie, and she basically has to kick him out of the living room and not watch. She can't watch the movie with him watching her watch the movie. It's just so funny.
That's how I came. I started researching about Star Wars, and honestly, you guys were the first website that I found.
Thank you.
About because I was searching through Star Wars fan website, and I was back home in Thailand, and I didn't know anything about Star Wars that much, and I was searching through and reading it, and kept following you guys, and I never knew one day I would be talking to you guys.
So cool. That's so cool, man. I love that. We do the podcast, we do the website, and it can, sometimes we wonder, is it just, are we doing this, especially in the early days, it was just are we just doing this for us because it's fun? And, that's a perfectly good reason to do it. But then when we meet people like you or people from all over the world, people were reading the site in Thailand or listening to the pod out there, and it's so cool because, sometimes it can feel a little isolating. It's just us here in America or in Canada, and we're just doing our thing. And
You know what? When I listen to a podcast, because of the time difference, I have to listen to it during work. So you guys are always on at from 9 Eastern time, 9 till midnight, right?
Yeah.
So it's 9 a.m. until noon. So it was during work.
I love that. Instead of working, you're listening to a Star Wars podcast. That is a universal experience worldwide. When you're supposed to be working, supposed to be in school, you're really doing Star Wars stuff. That's brilliant.
I can't believe from listening, hiding behind my boss, and now I'm here with you.
That's great, man. That's so cool. I love it.
Oh, by the way, we are right behind the Star Wars The Last Jedi panel, not booth, right?
Yeah.
What's inside? Can you tell me? Because I haven't been in there yet.
Yeah, well, you should definitely go check it out. It's real cool. There's some props and some costumes and some models from the movie. So, the Praetorian Guards, the new Red Guards for Last Jedi, a bunch of their weapons are in there. They got Poe Dameron's flight suit. They've got a First Order TIE fighter pilot armor in there, and just some other just little props from the movie, some helmets, and they've got models of the new Resistance bomber and Kylo Ren's TIE silencer. So they're little models like this that they built for reference for the CGI that they would create for the movie. So it's definitely worth having a look around there. It's really cool. No groundbreaking reveals, no crazy spoilers, but just some good stuff.
I have no insurance.
All right, hey, that's Comic-Con for you.
Yeah, whenever we're doing interviews, there's always that little weird guy coming around behind the video. So let's talk. We didn't talk about the trailer yet, right?
Yeah.
So apparently, the first trailer, not the teaser, the first trailer is coming on Monday during the NFL halftime.
Yeah.
During what game?
I don't know who's playing. It's
Viking or something?
something. It's the Monday Night Football on ESPN. Dun 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 dun.
That's how we know we're nerds, because we don't watch football.
That we're a couple of non-Americans. We're just like, yeah, football, right? Tom Brady's that's a person in football.
That's the only person I know.
But no, so we gotta watch football so we can see the Star Wars.
So the trailer, what do you expect from the trailer?
I'm just hoping to see really just more. I'm just ready to see more of the movie. I mean, the movie's done, so in theory, they could just release the movie tomorrow if they really wanted to. Not that they would. And so, what we saw at Celebration with Luke and Rey and little snippets of Poe and Finn and Rose and Leia and Kylo, of course. I just want to see more of that. I'm looking forward to seeing more of that. I think that would be it'd be really cool just to get another peek at this movie and expand on some of those ideas that were introduced in that trailer that will hopefully be really explored in the movie this December.
And the AMC and Fandango released that the Star Wars going to be 1 hour and 50 minutes, right?
No.
2.5 hours.
2.5 hours, yeah. So 150 minutes. So it's going to make it the longest Star Wars movie ever.
After the Attack of the Clones. So
Yeah.
do you think it's a good...
It's even longer than Attack of the Clones. Yeah, which is going to be great.
So do you think we need a long Star Wars?
Look, selfishly, as a Star Wars fan, I want the movie to just keep going, like make it like 5 hours long or something crazy like that. But all I'll say on that is, I want the filmmakers to have the right amount of time to make the movie and tell the story that they want to tell. And sometimes this means we're going to get longer movies like this one, and it probably means we're also going to get some shorter ones. I mean, we may get some movies that are less than 2 hours somewhere down the line, because that's all they need. For some of these filmmakers, they're just going to say, you know what, I can tell my whole story in 95 minutes, and that'll be a real short Star Wars movie. But that's if that's all they need, that's all they need. It's whatever suits the story, and if Rian Johnson's story needs 2.5 hours, I think we're going to love it.
Short story, I met Dominic here in Orlando. It was like 3 a.m.
Was it 3 a.m.?
3 a.m. We were like behind the line, last of the line.
Okay. That.
You remember?
I honestly I don't, and this makes me a terrible person. But you said when you said to me when you saw me on the floor, yeah, we met in Orlando. I'm like I was trying to think of when, and then you said 3 a.m. And that explains so much of why I don't remember it, because I don't remember anything past 3 a.m. any night of Celebration. But I'm glad we got a chance to meet up again here and hang out proper.
Yeah. And we're shouting out to Ben for connecting us, because last time, yes, we wish you were here. You were supposed to be here, so I can treat you like New York style dinner or something.
Yeah. That would be cool. That would have been cool.
Okay. So last but not least, are you gonna be able to buy the tickets on Monday?
I think that's the idea. I hope that's the idea.
You guys went to the Chinese theater on for the Force Awakens, right?
Rogue One, yeah. For Force Awakens, we went down and saw Ben in Mississippi, and we saw it there. And then for Rogue One, we went to LA, and we saw it at the Chinese theater on opening night. And for Last Jedi, we're actually going to Texas to see our friend Zach Arnold and see Last Jedi on opening night there. So that should be pretty fun too. And then who knows for the Han Solo movie.
Oh, let's talk about Han Solo. So apparently, what's the director's name? Howard.
Ron Howard.
Ron Howard. He's been releasing like lots of images
Yeah.
through Instagram and Twitter.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about Ron Howard taking over from Phil Lord?
Yeah, I was disappointed at first because I really like Phil Lord and Chris Miller as directors. I really like what they did with 21 Jump Street and Lego Movie. And so I really wanted to see their take on this. And that was one of the things that had me really excited about the movie. You know, the idea of a Han Solo movie is not the most exciting thing to me. I'm still, I still want to see it. I'm still definitely going to be there opening night. And
Are you I was thinking like, because people were against Han Solo at first, but are you thinking like they're gonna make it as good as Rogue One, where it explained like, give clarity to the fans?
I hope so. I hope it's as good as Rogue One and as good as Force Awakens, as good as Last Jedi. But you never know. I think it will be. Ron Howard's a very talented director as well. And so, when they announced that Phil Lord and Chris Miller were leaving, I was disappointed. And then they announced Ron Howard was coming. And I thought, okay, that's good. That's cool. That's not a bad choice. And just since then, I've really come to like Ron Howard through his social media posts and stuff. And I thought that what he's done has been really fun, and it's gotten me hyped for the movie. So, I like I said, Han Solo wasn't my first choice, but now that it's happening, I'm determined to like it. I'm determined to give it a fair chance. And let's be real, we're gonna get hyped for it. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be fun. It's a Star Wars movie. We're gonna have fun with it no matter what. Even if it's bad, there will be fun things that can.
Don't say it. Don't say it.
It won't be bad. It's gonna be good. Ron Howard's good. It's Ron Howard.
It's good because they're releasing it. They're keeping the release date on the same. It's March or May.
May 25th.
2018, right?
2018. So exactly 41 years to the day that A New Hope, or Star Wars as it was known back then, came out in theaters for the first time.
So next one. What's next? What's left for us to talk about?
Episode 9.
Episode 9. Oh, director changed.
Director change.
Oh.
Now, I was disappointed with the Han Solo director change at first. I was not disappointed about this one. I don't mind Colin Trevorrow. I don't mind Jurassic World. It's not my favorite. But that was, when they announced him, I was a little bit concerned about what that meant for the sequel trilogy. And since then, his movies haven't been that well received. And so that concerned me a little bit.
Have you seen Regarding Henry?
I've not seen that. Book of Henry. I haven't seen that yet, but it's it got some rough treatment in the press.
Me too. So I have to see it for myself, and I don't even know because it's different kind of movies, so we can't base it on Regarding Henry.
Yeah. So it is a little bit unfair to base it on that, but when they announced that he was stepping down and that JJ was coming back to do episode 9, I felt a lot better about that movie. I felt very relieved, and any stress, as ridiculous as it is to be stressed over a Star Wars movie, that I had kind of faded away, and all of a sudden I was really excited for that movie again. And I didn't realize how much I wanted JJ to come back and make another Star Wars movie until it was announced, and just how relieved and excited I felt.
Honestly, I'm gonna throw my first reaction out there. I was both happy and I was a little bit, because let me tell you, on the first, when the picture of JJ came out on lucasfilm.com, I was like, no! Honestly, like, I don't want it to be a repeat of something again.
Yeah.
In my opinion, The Force Awakens, JJ was hired to revitalize the Star Wars saga.
Yeah.
That was his job.
Yeah.
He was good at it for Star Trek as well.
Yeah.
So I think it was a good idea for episode 7, but not episode 9.
Yeah, I know what you mean there, but I think JJ made his tribute movie. He made it. Force Awakens had a lot of references. It was, in some ways it was a remake of New Hope. In other ways, not so much. But it was what it was. Like you said, it was to revitalize the franchise, to reboot it, quote unquote. But now what they're not bringing him in to do that anymore. Now they're bringing him in to have a satisfying conclusion to this trilogy. And I think for him, he's made his tribute movie. He's already done that. For him as an artist, I think the only reason he would take this gig is that he has an idea, or he wants to be able to really put his own stamp on Star Wars in a way that he didn't with Force Awakens, because Force Awakens, like you said, was a bit of a remix or a rehash of some things from A New Hope and other places in the saga. And so now that he's back, he can really just do a true J.J. Abrams Star Wars movie.
I hope he can he's up for the challenge, because he never finished the saga that he started with Star Trek and other things as well. And I'm hoping he's gonna, like you said, be able to put his stamp on the saga and not follow something else.
Yeah, not just do. I don't think we're gonna get the Return of the Jedi remake. I don't think we should.
Yeah,
I don't think we can. I don't think we will. I don't think we should. And I don't really think you can, because Return of the Jedi is so closely tied to Empire Strikes Back. And as long as Rian Johnson has made Last Jedi different enough from Empire Strikes Back, then it will be harder to follow the story of Return of the Jedi beat for beat the way he did with A New Hope. And just because of that, he'll have to make it different and unique.
Last question. Who was your ideal, like when they announced that they were replacing Colin Trevorrow, who was your ideal director?
Yeah. At first I was hoping that Rian Johnson would come back and do it again. I thought, he's really endeared himself to Star Wars fans these last couple of months, and I think it would be really fun to have him come back. It would have been really fun to have him come back. But also, I understand him wanting to take a break and not do that again. So I would have liked that. I would have liked Michelle MacLaren. She would have been good. She directed a bunch of Game of Thrones and Breaking Bad and Walking Dead episodes. So I think that would have been really cool to have her. But they went with JJ, and JJ was my first choice for Episode 7 back in the day. So it's really hard for me to complain about him coming back to do another Star Wars movie.
Great. Thank you very much, Dominic. So, hi again, Ben. You're supposed to be here. So you're going to be in...
Ben, next year.
Next year. Or maybe in San Diego?
Maybe in San Diego. It's next year in San Diego, Ben. If you're not coming to... there's no celebration, so you got to come to one of these.
Yep.
Ben.
Thanks again, Dominic, for joining me, okay? And so, from a true fan, like I was your fan, so it was really nice, coming to film school and interviewing you as well. So thank you for being my video. I'm gonna put this on, like, if Ben allows me, I'm gonna put it on Facebook group, the Star Wars Underworld.
Oh, that would be so cool.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Anything to leave for the fan?
Well, first off, thank you for listening and supporting Star Wars Underworld all through the years. Yeah, this has been really cool. So thank you for doing this. One more thing. May the Force be with you.
May the Force be with us.
Yes.
Always. One more time.
Ben.
May the Force be with us. May the Force be with us.
Always. Ben.